Hi, welcome back. So this is the final Sunday of Lent, and we are headed into the week of the Passion, leading up to Easter. And Good Friday, Monday, Thursday, all of that. And I did attend church this morning. And my allergies are really acting up too, which my allergies used to be way worse when I lived in Atlanta. There's way more like tree cover and humidity there. And so when I lived there, it was awful. Like 6 months out of the year, I had debilitating allergies, but you're still expected to work. You're still expected to be able to support yourself. And people don't care that you have allergies, honestly. They're kind of like, you're making it up or something. My parents often would accuse me of fabricating allergies. But, today we're going to read Job. We're finally going to hear from the Lord himself. Chapters 38 and 39 are a little bit longer, and then chapters 40 through 42 are a little bit shorter. So I'm going to read 38 and 39 today, and then we'll be done with it tomorrow. Then answered the Lord unto Job out of the whirlwind, and said, Who is this that darkeneth the counsel by words without knowledge? Gird up now thy loins like a man. I will demand of thee, and declare thou unto me. Where wast thou when I laid the foundations of the earth? Declare if thou hast understanding. Who hath laid the measures thereof, if thou knowest? Or who hath stretched the line over it? Whereupon are the foundations thereof set? Or who laid the cornerstone thereof? When the stars of morning praised me together, and all the children of God rejoiced. Or who hath shut up the sea with doors, when it issued and came forth as out of the womb? When I made the clouds as a covering thereof, and the darkness as the swaddling bands thereof. When I established my commandment upon it, and set bars and doors, and said, Hitherto shalt thou come, but no farther, and here shall it stay thy proud waves. Hast thou commanded the morning since thy days? Hast thou caused the morning to know his place? That it might take hold of the corners of the earth, and that the wicked might be shaken out of it. It is turned as clay to fashion, and all stand up as a garment. And from the wicked their light shall be taken away, and the high army shall be broken. Hast thou entered into the bottoms of the sea, or hast thou walked to seek out the depth? Have the gates of death been opened unto thee, or hast thou seen the gates of the shadow of death? Hast thou perceived the breadth of the earth? Tell if thou knowest all this. Where is the way where light dwelleth, and where is the place of darkness? That thou shouldst receive it in the bounds thereof, and that thou should know the paths to the house thereof. Knewest thou it, because thou wast then born, and because the number of thy days is great? Hast thou entered into the treasures of the snow, or hast thou seen the treasures of ye hail, which I have hid against the time of trouble, against the day of war and battle? By what way is the light parted, which scattereth the east wind upon the earth? Who hath divided the spouts for the rain, or the way for the lightning of ye thunders, to cause it to rain on the earth where no man is, and in the wilderness where there is no man, to fulfill the wild and waste place, and cause the bud of the herb to spring forth? Who is the father of the rain, or who hath begotten the drops of dew? Out of whose womb came the ye? Who had engendered the frost of the heaven? The waters are hid as with a stone, and the face of the depth is frozen. Canst thou restrain the sweet influences of the Pleiades, or loose the bands of Orion? Canst thou bring forth Mazzaroth in their time? Canst thou also guide Arcturus with his sons? Knowest thou the course of heaven, or canst thou set the rule thereof in the earth? Canst thou lift up thy voice to the clouds, and the abundance of water may cover thee? Canst thou send the lightnings that they may walk, and say unto thee, Lo, here we are? Who hath put wisdom in the reins, or who hath given the heart understanding? Who can number clouds by wisdom, or who can cause to cease the bottles of heaven, where the earth groweth into hardness, and the clots are fast together? So we have here, the Lord is reinforcing this idea. So finally we hear from God himself. There you go, Job. And he is saying things that are very similar already to what his friends had said. That, there's really no way to know God's plan in all of this. Wilt thou hunt the prey for the lion, or fill the appetite of the lion's whelps, when they couch in their places and remain in the covert to lie in wait? Who prepareth for the raven his meat, when his birds cry unto heaven, unto God, wandering for lack of meat? Knowest thou the time when the wild goats bring forth young? Or doest thou mark when the hinds do calve? Canst thou number the months that they fulfill? Or knowest thou the time when they bring forth? They bow themselves, they bruise their young, and cast out their sorrows. Yet their young wax fat, and grow up with corn. They go forth, and return not unto them. Who hath set the wild ass at liberty? Or who hath loosed the bonds of the wild ass? It is I which have made the wilderness his house, and the salt places his dwellings. He derideth the multitude of the city. He heareth not the cry of the driver. He seeketh out the mountain for his pasture, and searcheth after every green thing. Will the unicorn serve thee, or will he tarry by thy crib? Canst thou bind the unicorn with his band to labor in the furrow? Or will he plow the valleys after thee? Wilt thou trust in him, because his strength is great, and cast off thy labor unto him? Wilt thou believe him, that he will bring home thy seed, and gather it unto thy barn? Hast thou given the pleasant wings unto the peacocks, or wings and feathers unto the ostrich, which leaveth his eggs in the earth, and maketh them hot in the dust? And forgetteth that the foot might scatter thee, or that the wild beast might break thee. He sheweth himself cruel unto his young ones, as they were not his, and is without fear, as if he travailed in vain. For God hath deprived him of wisdom, and had given him no part of understanding. When time is, he mounteth on high, he mocketh the horse and his rider. Hast thou given the horse strength, or covered his neck with neighing? Hast thou made him afraid as the grasshopper? His strong neighing is fearful. He diggeth in the valley, and rejoiceth in his strength. He goeth forth to meet the harnessed man. He mocketh at fear, and is not afraid, and turneth not back from the sword. Though the quiver rattle against him, the glittering spear and the shield, he swalloweth the ground for fierceness and rage, and he believeth not that it is the noise of the trumpet. He saith among the trumpets, Ha, ha! He smelleth the battle afar off, and the noise of the captains and the shouting. Shall the hawk fly by thy wisdom, stretching out his wings toward the south? Doeth the eagle mount up at thy commandment, or make his nest on high? She abideth and remaineth in the rock, even upon the top of the rock in the tower. From thence she spieth for meat, and her eyes behold afar off. His young ones also suck up blood, and where the slain are, there is she. Moreover, ye Lord spake unto Job, and said, Is this to learn to strive with the Almighty? He that reproveth God, let him answer to it. Then Job answered the Lord, saying, Behold, I am vile. What shall I answer thee? I will lay my hand upon my mouth. Once have I spoken, but I will answer no more. Yea, twice, but I will proceed no further. So then Job does respond to God. God, interestingly enough, here responds a handful of times in the third person, referring to himself as God, but talking about himself as a third party, which is kind of interesting And definitely does make the piece feel more like it has come from a human narrator, a mortal narrator, rather than that, these words came from God himself. I don't know if you can tell, but my allergies, it definitely affects my cognitive ability, and it makes me really fuzzy and groggy, and it makes it difficult for me to focus. And sometimes I misspeak and I say the wrong words, and it's very frustrating. So I hope that you will humor me. I am trying my hardest. This time of year I just get sick. And it's not, as you can tell, it's not the worst that you could possibly be dealing with, but it does make it tricky, especially I don't want to leave things, misplace things and leave things places, and so it makes it really hard to keep track of things when I'm sick like this with allergies. And it makes it difficult to focus on the reading and focus on getting the things out of it. But it seems like mostly what we're looking at today is, God just reinforcing all of these things that his friends already have said, albeit in the third person, so that it makes him sound like it's not really God talking about God, but rather that it does make it come across more like a mortal narrator. But I appreciate all of you so much. Thank you for joining me today. And I look forward to seeing you again very soon.